Today here in Long Beach, California, the final verdict on the Garmin Fenix 6X Sapphire. Let's get to it. All right, I'm in Long Beach, California, and today we're going to give you my final verdict on the Garmin Fenix 6. Beautiful location, ships, harbors, lighthouses, all the 9 yards. And I've been wearing this watch for a few days, weeks actually. So if you want to know a little bit more about what I did and how I set up this test, link to the video here that gives you the kickoff perspective on what I was going to do with this watch for the next couple of weeks. And here it is, my top 5 positives, reasons why you might want the Garmin 6 series watches, and then my 5 deal breakers. Reasons that I don't think it's going to last. Well, this is not going to stay in the stable. So let's get to the top 5 positives for the Garmin 6X. All right, so the top 5 positives for the Garmin 6X Sapphire I've been wearing. All right, number 1, battery life. It's what everybody talks about, and it is true. This battery is awesome. Many settings to reduce what your current battery setup is so that you can make it last longer, days in fact. I'm not going to go into the details of all of it, but it just totally kicks the Apple Watch in the tail when it comes to longevity of that battery, and the ability to custom how your burn rate is on the battery is also one of its biggest positives. So you're never going to come close if you're trying to compare these two watches, the Apple Watch and the Garmin, just based off of the battery alone. So don't even think about it. However, in my use of the Apple Watch, it doesn't typically cause me any problems because of the way I use it and the fact that I don't like to sleep with a watch on my arm because it keeps me awake for various reasons. So if you're not wearing it 24 hours a day, then really the battery life is not going to be a big issue for you, and you can totally just go with the Apple Watch because it's not that it's not really that critical to me, since I charge it on my nightstand and use the Apple Watch in nightstand mode for an alarm clock when I travel and even at home. So that's definitely not a deal breaker for me, but it's a positive for most people, especially if you are a backpacker or doing extended adventure racing where you need that battery power to go through more than, say, 18 hours, because I've done longer events and the Apple Watch definitely doesn't last, but the Garmin 6 series definitely will. It'll be what you want if you want to use on a device more than 10, 12 hours. So definitely go with the Garmin product if that's your main goal. All right, getting interrupted by people in the park here, but that's fine. It's a public park. That's what it's for. Number 2 is the size of the watch. Now, what I really do love is this larger 6X size. I just love it. In fact, several times I'll go for it just because I want to look different than everyone else wearing an Apple Watch. So the size of it is definitely awesome. Definitely like the bigger screen size, so you can see everything. And definitely when you can customize the watch face, that's cool. I don't go for a lot of the watch faces with the little tiny writing because I can't read most of it, but that's just product of getting up in years, and I don't want to wear my reading glasses every time. But anyway, watch size, if that's an issue and that's what you like, then definitely a big positive for the Garmin 6X. I got the biggest one, and so I do like the big screen size. Number 3 on the list is the rugged features and abilities of the watch. And again, I haven't had it long enough where I've banged it up and taken it outside and gotten it dirty, really, but the Sapphire screen obviously is going to be another plus. You pay for that, but it's going to be definitely a plus if you're using it outside in a more intensive environment. And definitely compared to the Apple Watch, which is definitely not meant for an adventure watch style. It's just meant to be more of a fashion and lifestyle device. So that's again, the ruggedness, number 3 on the list of why the Garmin Fenix 6 is definitely awesome. Another feature that is awesome embedded in the watch is the maps. And again, it's Garmin and it's GPS, so that's why you buy it. And definitely used it off-road a couple times and used the map features when out hiking in the woods, and it's awesome. And the fact that it's embedded in there, you'll never get lost. You have it right there on your wrist. Can be reliant on maybe your iPhone or other device. The fact that you're not relying on it using a battery there, the fact that you have it on your wrist and embedded into it and native is awesome. So definitely a big fan of the fact that you can do all that right from the watch. That's number 4. Number 5 is Really, this is what's keeping me from returning it immediately, is the looks of this watch. And the fact that it just looks amazing, the fact that it's, I like the color, I like the way it's all put together, the round style, the more rugged looks, like I've mentioned already, and it just looks an awesome watch. So definitely the looks of that watch, one of my big positives. The fact I haven't returned it already is because I keep reaching for that watch because I just like the looks of it. And you've seen a couple videos, and I'll show you here what I tried to do with the Apple Watch to make it to look more like the Garmin. It just didn't work. The Apple Watch, the band is fine, but it just doesn't, not the look I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is this. So that's the biggest thing here, the looks. Number 5, that's the positives. Lots of great positives, and for most people, or a small group of people, maybe a large group of people, that might be the reason why you go for the Garmin over the Apple Watch. But let's now talk about my deal breakers, the reasons, the top 5 reasons why I'm returning it, and the fact that I'm going back to the trusty old Apple Watch. Probably not nearly as scenic, but this will get the point across. Here are my 5 deal breakers for the Garmin Fenix in terms of replacing my Apple Watch. Number 1 is the lack of any voice activation. Siri for Apple Watch just works so well. I use it all the time to dictate a new appointment or a reminder, start an alarm. I just use it all the time. So for me, it's a deal breaker. I definitely need that in my watch. Number 2 on the list is the navigation is very tedious. Of course, this is first world problems, and I'm used to just doing things with a swipe, a touch, whatever you want to do it, but it just doesn't work out for me in the Apple Watch. The navigation of the menus is very tedious. Can't tell me how many times I've gone to YouTube or the web to figure out how to do something with the Garmin. The limitation in apps and widgets, also a big limitation. There's an endless possibility with the iPhone coupled with the Apple Watch. So to me, that's why it's a big deal breaker for me. Lack of widgets for the Garmin devices. So number 4 is notifications. Really lack thereof of the ability to do any sort of notifications. Really for an Apple user, it's a big deal. With apparently for Android users, you can customize what goes to your Garmin, but Apple Watch users, you're pretty much locked out of that. So the fact that I'm either text only, or text and calls, or off or on, really that's just unbelievable. So you either get it all, which you don't want, then you have to go to your phone to tailor those, or you just get text. So the lack of customization for Apple users on the Garmin, that's kind of a deal breaker for me, for sure. And originally I thought that maybe notifications, I was getting too many and that I was addicted to it. But my final opinion though on notifications was the fact that I could leave my phone in my pocket all the time and then just pick up the notifications that I wanted to on my watch. And I could customize that pretty easily. So that to me was the biggest positive for the Apple Watch, the fact that I can totally customize those notifications. And otherwise, I mean, you're just kind of locked out. So what I found is that with the Apple Watch, my phone is in my pocket way more because I'm not relying it or trying to pull it out to look at what's going on, what notification for whatever, whether it's news or a text or notification for like a camera setting that you have for security systems at your house. Either way, the fact that you don't have to pull your phone out every time, the fact that you get a snapshot or a screenshot of what's being seen, and security camera footage that is, it's just way better. So way better with the Apple Watch. That's to me a big deal breaker, the notifications. Also those notifications, the fact that you cannot interact with a text or even give it a thumbs up or anything through the Garmin, that's something I'm addicted to, the Apple Watch. So that's why another tag on for notifications, why they suck. All right, wrapping up the top 5. Number 5 of my deal breakers has to do with the screen size and brightness. Now, it's no secret that although the screen is bigger with the Garmin 6X, it's just different technology, and so it's not nearly as bright even at full power. The color variations or the color capabilities of the Apple Watch just far exceed what you get of the Garmin, so it's way better. The brightness is way easier to see. The colors that you can put in a watch face, so much better on the Apple Watch than the Garmin, even with the smaller size. So that's to me the last deal breaker, is the fact that that color capabilities of the Apple Watch is just so much better than the Garmin. So with all that being said, my 5 positives, my 5 deal breakers, who should buy the Apple Watch? Well, it's really simple. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, somebody who's outdoors, needs a long endurance battery to use your watch for more than, say, 10 to 12 hours, then the Garmin Fenix series, or really most of the Garmin watches, are definitely for you, because you're going to get a much better result and you're going to be able to use all the features of the watch outdoors, recording all the GPS track information that you'll want. Definitely opt for the Pro Edition if you want to use music while you're out. I definitely used that while I was running and it was definitely a plus. So definitely go Pro, and get the Garmin if you want to be outside more than 12 hours recording in extreme sports or backpacking mode, because you'll have the maps and everything else that I mentioned in the positive. So that's the person that will definitely want the Garmin if you're really comparing the two watches. So that leaves us with the final verdict is probably obvious when I have 5 deal breakers, but it's going back. I'm going to return the Garmin Fenix 6X Sapphire. Just wasn't enough to keep it for the price. What I'm really hoping for is, well, an Apple Watch 7. Definitely going to check that out in the near term. And additionally, going to definitely check out, I've seen rumors of a adventure version of the Apple Watch. You can definitely bet I'll be going for that one because it's going to probably do everything and be everything I want out of the Garmin, but in an Apple Watch. And so that's what it really came down to, is I want everything. I want it to look like this, but do everything an Apple Watch does. I didn't find that the Garmin Fenix series is quite there yet, but maybe the Fenix 7 will be. We'll see what happens if it ever gets released. I'm sure it will be, but just a matter of time. Until then, we're just going to go back to the old Apple Watch and look forward to, again, getting that Apple Watch Series 7 in the next couple of weeks and see what it looks like and how it compares to my old style. But in the meantime, we're just going to go back to the Series 4 and just live with it that way, which is, again, it's a great watch. And any Apple Watch is going to be far superior, in my opinion only, for what I use it for than any Garmin watch. All right, so that wraps it up. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel, see what's going to happen next time. Again, go get an Apple Watch. And if you're an extreme sports athlete, going hiking, going biking, something for a long time, then get a Garmin. See you next time.